नेपाल र भारतको यो बोर्डर डिस्प्युट एकदमै बढिरहेको छ। स्पेसल्ली कालापानी टेरिटोरीमा, कालापानी एरियामा चाहिँ हाम्रो जमिनलाई भारतले कब्जा गरेपछि नेपाल सरकारले विभिन्न चरणमा वार्ताहरू, छलफलहरू गर्ने कोसिस गर्दा गर्दै पनि त्यो भारतले वास्ता नगरेदेखि नेपालले चाहिँ म्याप इन्डोर्स गरेको छ। त्यसले गर्दा चाहिँ इन्डियामा अहिले निकै बहस चलिरहेको छ नेपालको बारे। त्यसै गरी द प्रिन्ट भन्ने अनलाइन पत्रिका भारतमा जुन छ त्यसमा चाहिँ एकजना अथर एन्ड द लिडर अफ काङ्ग्रेस पार्टी र उहाँ चाहिँ डिफेन्स एनालिस्ट पनि हो, महेन्द्र सिंह। उहाँले चाहिँ अलिकति नेपालको फेभरमा त्यो चाहिँ लेख लेख्नुभएको छ। त्यसमा चाहिँ उहाँले नेपालका गोर्खाहरूले कसरी इन्डियालाई सर्भ गरेका छन्, कसरी तिनीहरूले डिकेडदेखि, दशकौँदेखि इन्डियालाई प्रोटेक्ट गरिरहेका छन् र इन्डियामा अस्ति जुन नवानेले जुन यो नेपालको बारेमा जुन कुरा भन्नुभएको थियो त्यो म क्लियर
questions which were asked in the later part as far as the road is concerned to Dipu Lake. I do not see any contradiction in that at all. In fact, the Nepalese ambassador had mentioned that the area east of the Kali Nadi belongs to them. There is no dispute in that whatsoever. The road which we have made is in fact to the west of the river. So I don't know what they are actually agitating about. There are little issues as you go ahead as to where exactly the tri-junction should be. There have never been any problems on this score in the past. There is reason to believe that they might have raised these problems or these issues at the behest of someone else, and that is very much a possibility.
यो नर्माली जुन नेपालको लाई ब्लेम गर्नुभएको थियो कि यो चाहिँ चाइनाको बिहेस्टमा, चाइनाको आदेशमा चाहिँ नेपालले यो गतिविधि गरिरहेको छ भनेर उहाँले आरोप लगाउनु भएको थियो। त्यसको चाहिँ जुन महेन्द्र सिंह जुन अथर हुनुहुन्छ, जुन राइटर हुनुहुन्छ, उहाँले चाहिँ अलिकति नेपालको फेभरमा भएर लेख्नुभएको छ। उहाँले चाहिँ साम मानिक शाह जो चाहिँ भूतपूर्व सेनापति हुन् भारतको, उहाँले चाहिँ नेपालको गोर्खाहरूको कसरी प्रशंसा गर्नुहुन्थ्यो भनेर पनि उहाँले लेख्नुभएको छ त्यो लेखमा। त्यसै गरी नेपाल र भारतको सम्बन्ध एउटा एकदमै क्लोज सम्बन्ध हो भनेर उहाँले जुन डिस्क्राइब गर्न खोज्नुभएको छ त्यो कुरामा पनि भारतमा निकै बहस चलिरहेको छ अहिले। म तपाईँलाई चाहिँ आज चाहिँ यो लेख अहिले सुनाउँछु। यो लेख सुन्नुहोस् तपाईँ पहिला।
General Narawane's insensitive remark undermined 14 battalions of Nepalese in Indian Army. Army Chief M.M. Narawane's insinuations that Kathmandu was protesting over the boundary issues on the behest of another country is insensitive, uncalled for, and deeply damaging for the two armies in which he holds the rank of General, India and Nepal. As Honorary General of the Nepal Army, Narawane has undermined his own position, waded into a domain that is clearly non-military, and brought unnecessary stress on a relationship unique to the two armies. Especially because the 7 Gorkha regiment in the Indian Army make up almost 40 battalions, and the most of the soldiers are recruited from Nepal. In speaking out of turn, General Narawane floated the unfortunate precedent that has been encouraged to flourish in the recent past. Voluble military chiefs doubling as spokespersons. India and Nepal not only have the most cordial and interwoven social relations among sovereign countries, but also the deepest military relationship possible. No two armies are as closely interlinked as those of India and Nepal, and this incomparable time-tested bond has been placed under a strain by an utterance that is both avoidable and unmilitary. Speaking at an online seminar organized by the Manohara Parrikar Institute of Defense Studies Analysis on 15th May 2020, General Narbani said, "I don't know what they are actually agitating about. There has never been any problem in the COP in the past. There is a reason to believe that they might have raised their problems at the behest of someone else, and that is very much a possibility." Forgetting Karipav's guidebook, the reciprocal appointment of generals in both armies began with the late Field Marshal, then General K.M. Karippa, when he assumed office as a Chief of Army Staff in 1950. The Royal Nepal Army conferred the honorary rank of General on him, and since then it has been followed as a gesture of respect and honor, seldom seen between two foreign armies. As Chief of Army Staff, Field Marshal Karipapa penned the last word on what is expected of an officer with his handbook of etiquette for gentleman cadets. It seems to have been misplaced, since this is possibly the first occasion when an army chief has raised doubts about the political and diplomatic actions of Nepal. It brings to mind one of the oft repeated quotes of the inimitable and legendary Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw. He joined 8 Gorkha Rifles after India was partisans on his original Frontier Force Battalion became part of the Pakistan Army. Sam Bahadur, as he came to be fondly called, left behind a treasure trove of quotes relevant for the national and its army as a Gorkha. He would have been particularly dismayed by the current controversy, and is clear from his very prescient observation. The problem in India is that as soon as one of us is put in a position of power, he feels that he has the monopoly of the entire knowledge. Citizens of Nepal train and then take a oath to uphold the national security interest of India, and over the decades they have been living up to their oath, many times making ultimate sacrifice. Army's 7 Gorkha regiments depict a closeness and confidence unparalleled today. The numbers drawing an Indian army men's pension in Nepal is slowly nudging towards 130,000, so much so that army officers posted in the Indian embassy in Nepal would be the highest number in a diplomatic mission, and include military medical staff, which is an apt testimony to the importance given to Nepali Gorkha soldiers and their families. General Navane has undermined the credibility of Nepal, which has given so much to India in terms of soldier service and many times sacrifices too. Indians with deep-rooted family connection in Nepal see yet another needless controversy between the two countries, even as the ire over the Madhesi agitation persists in Kathmandu and beyond. India's meddlesome attitudes towards Nepal is once again a point of heated discussion there. Except this time, a first ever, the indignation is because of an army officer and a chief that no soldier in India or in Nepal believes that General Navani's inconsiderate remarks have not been instigated by someone within the Narendra Modi government. This is indeed a harassed whisper to circulate, which once again brings to mind another gem from a late Sam Bahadur, when former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi asked him about military coup rumors. Mutual respect was of a different order then, and he quipped, You mind your own business, I'll mind mine. You kiss your own sweetheart, I'll kiss mine. I don't interfere politically as long as nobody interferes with me in the army. Sam Bahadur would obviously dissect this episode very differently.
द प्रिन्टमा महेन्द्र सिंहको यो लेख छापिएपछि भारतमा दुईटा पार्टीहरूबीच वाद विवाद चलिरहेको छ, बिजेपी र भारतीय काङ्ग्रेस बीच। र यसमा चाहिँ नेपाल, यो लेखमा नेपालको पक्षमा केही कुराहरू भनिएको छ र गोर्खाहरूले कसरी सर्भ गरेका छन्, कसरी आफ्नो ब्लड खुन दिएर भारतलाई प्रोटेक्ट गरिरहेका छन् भन्ने कुरा यो लेखमा लेखिएको छ। र नेपाल र भारतको रिलेसन र नेपाल आर्मी र भारतीय आर्मी बीचको पुरानो सम्बन्धको बारे यो लेखमा चर्चा गरिएको छ। तर बिजेपीले भारतीय काङ्ग्रेसलाई चाहिँ प्रो चाइना भनेर ब्लेम गरिरहेको छ, आरोप लगाइरहेको छ। जसरी नेपाललाई पनि म्यानिपुलेटेड बाई चाइना भनेर आरोप लगाइरहेको थियो, जुन भारतीय सेना अध्यक्षले पनि नेपाललाई अन द बिहेस्ट अफ चाइना नेपालले प्रोटेस्ट गरिरहेको छ भनेर आरोप लगाएका थिए। त्यो कुराको एन्टी कुरामा चाहिँ यो पोलिटिकल कुरा हो भनेर महेन्द्र सिंहले पोलिटिकल कुरामा आर्मी चिफले बोल्नु हुँदैन भनेर यो लेखमा लेखेका छन्। र यो डिबेट चाहिँ अहिले दह्रो चलिरहेको छ भारतमा। र यो रिपब्लिक टिभीमा यो डिबेट जुन चलिरहेको छ यो म तपाईहरुलाई देखाउन चाहन्छु।
With the Prime Minister Narendra Modi personally taking stock of the situation, the lobby is attacking the army chief. The lobby is trying to create a divide within our forces. Opening remark on the debate from Colonel Shailendra Singh, who is going to be debating with Sarfaraz Wani from Srinagar. I was appalled, Colonel Shailendra Singh. I was appalled that the Congress party, when we are doing everything possible to consolidate and when we are preparing for any misadventurism by China, the Congress party is attacking the army. And the Congress party is attacking the army chief at this time. Colonel Shailendra Singh, obviously there was an attempt to twist the words of the Chief of Army Staff, but there seems to be a more insidious, deeper design than just that.
If I could be allowed to tell you one thing, who's Manvendra Singh? गंगा जल हाथ में रखकर बैठे हुए हैं क्या मनवेंद्र सिंह जो उनकी बात मानी जाएगी? He is trying to accuse an army chief. I'm not talking about a person. I'm talking about an appointment. An appointment which has always been so responsible in every word. When an army chief speaks, he means every alphabet, not only every word. Who's Manvendra Singh to question it? Just because you have created an agenda for yourself doesn't mean that you can drag in an army chief like that. What has he told wrong? You give me one word out of what he has said. We have just now heard him. One word if he has said anything wrong. Oh, who's given a political statement? Nobody has given a political statement. You are reading politics in it. You are the one. No.
It is not about the merits of what has been said by the army chief.
No,
the
sir.
question is,
no, it is.
Who is the authority who is saying?
Army chief has said very simply
Can army...
No, one second.
Make sense. Have the basic sense to talk. You must know what you are talking. Don't interject like that. Please see it again. Hear it again. Open your eyes.
We have a foreign ministry, a dedicated foreign ministry for that. Can we ask army to give political statements?
What was political about the statement? What was political about the statement?
We have all the respect for the army.
What is political about the statement? I'm really sorry. What is political about the statement? No. 1 minute. The army chief statement. 1 minute. No. 1 second. Sarfaraz Wani, if I can ask you. The army chief Sarfaraz Wani on the debate, Professor Swaran Singh on the right. Professor Swaran Singh, the army chief's comment was not about Gorkhas serving in the Indian army. Do you understand? this is this is a clear attempt. 1 minute. The Congress is attacking the army chief and saying there is that they've roped in a narrative about Gorkha regiments. Now I remember Professor Swaran Singh, after Pulwama and around Balakot, there were ISI-backed Twitter handles which published false news saying Sikh regiment refuses to fight for India. You remember that, Colonel Shailendra Singh? And they used the Republic screenshot. They used the screenshot of one of our channels to say that. Now, I feel that when there is a critical time our forces are facing, when we are facing an external enemy,
Manipulators.
yeah, when we are facing an external enemy, why would the Congress want to demoralize our forces at a critical time on the LAC? That's my question. Professor Swaran Singh is on the debate. Professor Swaran Singh.
Thank you. I think for about several years now, it is clear that China has been pinching and poaching in India's neighborhood, and countries like Nepal had really come under their clout, and some of their statements more recently have been really kind of speaking the Chinese language, and otherwise one doesn't understand why such a harsh language being used against India. So I think a certain amount of message perhaps was required to be sent out to Nepal and to China both together. But whether the timing of it was correct, whether the
why would a political party which is operating in India, because it's the Congress party operates in India, not in China. My question is, General KK, why would the Congress party use this opportunity to attack the Indian army? I don't understand. Why are people on Indian soil working for inimical forces? The article says India's meddlesome, Congress leader says, India's meddlesome attitude towards Nepal. So you're putting the blame on India. You're protecting China. General KK, look at the dynamics. Very open support for China.
Yes.
The Congress is not even leaving anything to the imagination. They are openly coming out in China's support, maybe driven by their anti-Modi agenda, but should anti-Modi agenda be used to turn anti-India? That's my question. General KK. On the debate, Sunit Chopra is already protesting. KK. General KK, let's move the debate fast now. General KK.
You are confusing
yes,
Nepal with China.
See Arnav. First, just listen. Professor, please listen to me. Please listen to me.
Sunit Chopra, that's
what
Sunit
is
Chopra.
happening?
Yeah.
John Naravani is speaking on a seminar, and in a seminar he is taking the last question and tells exactly what is there on the ground. He tells that the Kala Nadi on the eastern side, Nepal is asking, and we do not have any problem. The western side, we are making the road. And this is the statement, and he says, if they are raising, it is raising on behest of someone. This is exactly the question is, and this is the answer of the chief. Where is the political statement in it? Mr. Chopra, you must understand, when you are standing, you are taking this today in the side.
Political statement.
Political statement when Mr. Chopra, you know what is happening in Eastern Ladakh, what is happening in the North Sikkim, and this is the time when you are making a statement of
to China. I think the chief was very diplomatic in putting it across. He could not have been more diplomatic and statesmanlike in putting this harsh truth across. Oli is trying to save his things. Oli is trying to save his gubbins.
The earthquake,
trying to
the blockade of the border. They have
Isn't this I asked today Rami Desai on the debate right now. Rami Desai on the debate right now. And let's get straight to, isn't this the same Vadra Congress whose leader Sandeep Dikshit had called the then chief Bipin Rawat a Sarakka Gunda because he wants stone pelters in the Kashmir Valley? Isn't the same Congress, this the same Vadra Congress, Rami, that at the time our army was tearing down the Chinese at Doklam? Rahul Gandhi went to 5-star hotels to hold parallel meetings with the Chinese envoy Lu Zhanjui and do flip-flops about the meeting. Where does that allegiance lie? Where does their allegiance lie? Rami is on the debate. Rami, pose your question to Sarfaraz. Or Saira Shahin is on. Is Saira on? Yes, go on.
Arnab, I have no...
Yeah. So Rami Desai.
Adab, I have absolutely no idea what happens to people when they shift to the Congress party. I mean, Manvendra was a fairly good defense analyst. I don't know what has happened. I've read this article of his, and to bring in the Gurkhas is like voicing and mouthing the exact words that the Deputy Prime Minister of Nepal, the Defense Minister of Nepal said. He said that we are ready to fight with India, and the Indian Army Chief has heard the Gurkha sentiments. He brought in the Gurkhas, and Manvendra is now mouthing the same words. Having said that, if Manvendra is a security analyst, the questions instead that he should have asked is why this unsolicited aggression from Nepal towards India.
Why are not we discussing the basic question? Can army come
this
up
is
and
not
give
a political
statement?
I am sorry, maybe you should do your homework and come, because that is not the question. This is, first of all, this is not a political statement. The Army Chief did not make a political statement. He made a very rational statement. You clearly do not come from a defense or security analytical background, because if you did, you would have known that this is the question in everybody's mind. Everybody who has been watching the India-Nepal situation has been wondering, why have these statements been made? Why has the goalpost of the tri-junction been changed continuously? I'm sorry, I don't think you even understand the situation that is going on between India and Nepal. First, Nepal has changed its goalpost. Right? There was never a situation in this tri-junctional issue that existed ever since the road has been built. It's been built for the last 10 years, and there wasn't a question that arose. Why is it that this question has come up today? Why is it that the Prime Minister of the country has made such aggressive statements like the virus, the COVID virus is coming from India, that the strain that is from India is a stronger strain?
Why even pull ourselves back? Rami, I would...
Any rational...
No, Rami, I would go further.
Yes,
I would go further. Sunit Chopra, don't mind. But I want to ask you, what is your real intent, you tell me? See, viewers, let's look at it logically. It seems to me that the Congress has decided that it has to support the Chinese. Whatever, I don't know what the reasons are. Are the Chinese funding them? Is the Congress being funded by China? I'm asking a question. It's my democratic right. Why would they be so predisposed towards Beijing? Democratic right. Democratic. Sunit Chopra, you think... Sunit Chopra, listen to me. Democratic rights. Democratic right is... This is the same Congress which, when the Indian Army was taking on the Maoist threat, had the Congress Party mouthpiece in September 2018 claim that the forces were ambushing Maoists. And Maoists were just, quote unquote, Professor Swaran Singh, angry young men in rural areas do pick up guns given an opportunity because of rural joblessness. So they were supporting the Maoists. They're supporting the Chinese. The same Congress Party, I am not, I'm just being extremely precise tonight. Same Vadra Congress said, oh, you know, your missiles didn't help. Pakistan says only trees were damaged, we believe Pakistan. Same Congress after surgical strikes said Khoon ki dalali. So do we forget? Colonel Shailendra Singh, tell me one thing. Do the people of India forget that easily? But what is happening now, Colonel Shailendra Singh, is very suspicious. Because now is a really tense situation on the LAC. You and I are not doing this debate out of a whim. You know, you're a former army man. You know the situation is serious, right? At this time for Sonia Gandhi to take a pro-China position, I can't understand why she's doing it. I really don't understand.
Oh, let me explain. Let me explain this. Thank God we in army are actually not bothered about such political statements. And Mr. Wani, when he says that this is a political statement, sir, from where did you become such an expert that what the army chief is speaking is all political? Who are you? I want to know who is Manvendra Singh. What is their basis? What is their standing in our society to decide that our army chief is speaking political?
Okay, can I come in, please?
Saira, my question to you is that is this the time to be attacking our forces? So before you come in, I want to not caution you. It's a democracy. You can say what you want. But I want to tell you that high level. Please don't
like
take a pro-China position anymore. Even
no,
though
please,
you may really love the Congress
I'm
Party,
not even opened
but
my
don't
mouth,
even think
Arnab,
about
so
it.
Please,
Because
spare
the
us
mood in the
horror,
country is
because
different.
I've not even opened my mouth. Can I talk, please? I've not even opened my mouth. So kindly don't assume what position I'm going to take. Firstly, just like you, I'm also from an army background, so please spare us the horror here. And secondly, we cannot cast aspersions on the Nepalese army. They've been very loyal to the Indian army.
Who is cast?
For decades
1 minute.
here. For decades.
What are you talking
and
about?
We will only
But
be,
what are you talking? There's nothing. We don't have a Nepalese army. The Gorkha regiments. 1 minute.
If we cast aspersions on the Nepal army,
What are you talking about?
It's in the best interest of the
GD Bakshi, this is horrific what she said. This is the line of. This is the line of that. GD Bakshi, what is she talking about? GD Bakshi. GD Bakshi, I didn't get what she was saying. We lost her video. Yeah.
The Nepalese
We'll try and get her back.
Is a fraternal army.
No, but why are they talking?
Our army chief is honorary colonel of the, is an honorary general in the Nepal army. What nonsense is this? And firstly, we have a territorial army officer. Manometra Singh is a territorial army officer. He holds a commission. For him to talk against his own army chief is a chargeable offense.
डिबेटमा पनि एकदमै गम्मागम्मी डिबेट सुन्दाखेरि चाहिँ नेपालको र भारतको जुन रिलेसन हो त्यो चाहिँ ड्यामेज हुँदैछ। अब यो ड्यामेज नहुन दिन अब नेपाल र भारतले टेबल टक गर्नुपर्छ र नेगोसिएसन गर्नु जरुरी छ र नेपालको जुन ल्यान्ड हो, जुन क्षेत्र हो, जुन एभिडेन्स र डकुमेन्टबाट प्रमाणित गर्छ त्यसलाई फिर्ता जसरी पनि ल्याउनुपर्छ। आफ्नो जमिन, आफ्नो भूमि कसैलाई दिन सकिँदैन, त्यो फिर्ता हुन जरुरी छ। त्यो नेपालले ल्याउँछ भन्ने विश्वास हामीलाई छ। र अहिले जुन यो क्षेत्रमा टेन्स ग्रो भइरहेको छ, जुन प्रोटेस्टहरु चलिरहेको छ, चीनले भारतलाई ब्लेम गरेको छ, उनको भारत र चीनको बोर्डर डिस्प्युट छ, त्यसैगरी यता पाकिस्तान र भारतको बोर्डर डिस्प्युट छ र नेपालको भारतको डिस्प्युट छ। यसले गर्दा यो क्षेत्रमा अहिले टेन्सन बढिरहेको छ। चिनिया प्रिमियरले अस्ति आफ्नो सेनालाई चाहिँ तयारी अवस्थामा रहन निर्देशन दिएका छन्। त्यसैगरी पाकिस्तानले पनि यो भारत नेबरहुडको लागि डेन्जरस देश हो भनेर क्लेम गरेका छन् र ब्लेम गरेका छन्। त्यसैगरी नेपालले पनि आफ्नो क्षेत्रफल हुनुपर्छ र आफ्नो क्षेत्रफल यो क्षेत्र हो भनेर प्रोटेस्ट गरिरहेको अवस्था छ। Guys, don't forget to subscribe. Don't ever forget to subscribe my channel, okay? Thank you.